A reflection for Wednesday, April 29th, Memorial of St. Catherine of Siena. In the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12, that we read today, there is a quiet but decisive turning point in the life of the church. Since the resurrection of Christ to this moment, everything has been revolving largely around Jerusalem. But now something begins to shift. The word of God begins to spread and move outward beyond the boundaries of Jerusalem, even in the middle of resistance. At Antioch, a city full of diversity, tension, and cultural mix, the church is alive, and we see teachers from different backgrounds standing together. What this tells us is that the gospel doesn't erase differences, but gathers them and gives them purpose. Moreover, we will notice that the mission of the church does not begin with human planning, but with divine initiative. Hence, we can say that it was not actually the disciples that came up with an expansion plan, but the Spirit. And because the community were already tuned in through prayer and fasting, they recognized the divine initiative. Also today in the Gospel of St. John chapter 12, Jesus says, "I came into the world as light, so that anyone who believes in me might not remain in darkness." So what does this say to us? God desires that you move out of comfort into something that requires trust, because faith is not just about being fed, as it is about being sent. Look at the life of St. Catherine of Siena, a young woman with no official authority in the church, and yet she listened deeply to God. Like the church in Antioch, her strength was in prayer. She fasted, contemplated, and made space for God's voice. When the Spirit moved her, she went. She spoke to popes, confronted corruption, and called the church back to unity during one of its most fractured moments. She helped bring the papacy back from Avignon to Rome, thanks to a conviction rooted in prayer. Today, the Word of God is still growing. The Spirit is still speaking, but it needs you. Would you stay comfortable in the Antioch of your faith or allow yourself to be sent? May God bless you.